A voting age is a minimum age established by law that a person must attain to be eligible to vote in a public election. Typically, the age is set at 18 years. However, ages as low as 16 and as high as 21 exist. Studies show that 21% of all 18-year-olds have experience with voting. Overview. The vast majority of countries in the world have established a voting age. Most governments consider that those younger than the chosen threshold lack the capacity to make informed voting decisions. The voting age is often of such importance that it is set by means of a constitutional provision. In May 2009, Danish Member of Parliament Jens Jensen presented an initiative to the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe in Strasbourg to lower the voting age in Europe to 16. There has also been discussion of giving votes to children from birth, initially with the votes being cast by parents who were presumed to better understand a child's interests. When the right to vote was first accorded in democracies, the voting age was generally set at 21 or higher. In the 1970s, the voting age was reduced to 18 in many countries. Debate is currently underway in many places on proposals to reduce the voting age to below 16. History. Before the Second World War, almost all countries had voting ages of 21 or higher. Czechoslovakia was early to act, reducing its age to 18 in 1946, and by 1968 a total of 17 states had made the same reduction. A large number of countries, particularly in Western Europe, reduced the voting ages to 18 during the 1970s, starting with the United Kingdom with the Representation of the People Act 1969. The USA, Canada, Australia, France and others followed soon afterwards. By the end of the 20th century, 18 had become by far the most common age at which citizens acquired the right to vote. However, a few countries maintained voting ages of 20 years or higher. 18-year-old men could be drafted to go to war, so many people felt they should be able to vote at the age of 18. Consideration of a reduction to 18 continued into the late 20th and early 21st centuries in those countries that had not yet made the change. Reductions were seen in India, Switzerland, Austria and Morocco during this time. Japan is due to make the change to 18 in 2016. A dispute is continuing in the Maldives. Further reductions. Around the year 2000, a number of countries began to consider whether the voting age ought to be reduced further, with arguments most often being made in favor of a reduction to 16. The earliest moves came during the 1990s, when the voting age for municipal elections in some states of Germany was lowered to 16. Lower Saxony was the first state to make such a reduction in 1995, and 4 other states later copied the move. During the 2000s, several proposals for a reduced voting age were put forward in U.S. states, including California, Florida and Alaska, but none was successful. A national reduction was proposed in 2005 in Canada and a state reduction in New South Wales, Australia, but these proposals were not adopted. Debates in various countries. Austria. In 2007, Austria became the first member of the European Union to adopt a voting age of 16 for most purposes. The voting age had been reduced in Austria from 19 to 18 at all levels in 1992. At the time, a voting age of 16 was proposed by the Green Party, but was not adopted. The voting age for municipal elections in some states was lowered to 16 shortly after 2000. 3 states had made the reduction by 2003, and in May 2003 Vienna became the 4th. Salzburg followed suit, and so by the start of 2005 the total had reached at least 5 states out of 9. As a consequence of state law, reduction of the municipal voting age in the states of Burgenland, Salzburg and Vienna resulted in the reduction of the regional voting age in those states as well. After the 2006 election, the winning SPOOVP coalition announced on the 12th of January 2007 that one of its policies would be the reduction of the voting age to 16 for elections in all states and at all levels in Austria. The policy was set in motion by a government announcement on the 14th of March, and a bill proposing an amendment to the constitution was presented to the legislature on the 2nd of May. On the 5th of June, the National Council approved the proposal following a recommendation from its Constitution Committee. During the passage of the bill through the chamber, relatively little opposition was raised to the reduction, with 4 out of 5 parties explicitly supporting it. Indeed, there was some dispute over which party had been the first to suggest the idea. Greater controversy surrounded the other provisions of the bill concerning the brief while, or postal vote, and the extension of the legislative period for the National Council from 4 to 5 years. A further uncontroversial inclusion was a reduction in the candidacy age from 19 to 18. The Federal Council approved the bill on the 21st of June, with no party voting against it. The voting age was reduced when the bill's provisions came into force on the 1st of July 2007. Austria thus became the first member of the European Union, and the first of the developed world democracies, to adopt a voting age of 16 for all purposes. Brazil lowered its minimum voting age from 18 to 16 with its 1988 constitution. The presidential election of 1989 was the first with the new minimum voting age. People between the ages 18 and 70 are required to vote. Malta. On the 20th of November 2013, the Maltese Parliament adopted a proposal to lower its voting age from 18 to 16 for local elections starting from 2015. The proposal gained wide support from both the government and opposition, social scientists and youth organizations. United Kingdom. The reduction of the voting age to 16 in the United Kingdom was first given serious consideration on the 15th of December 1999, when the House of Commons considered in committee an amendment proposed by Simon Hughes to the Representation of the People Bill. This was the first time the reduction of a voting age below 18 had ever been put to a vote in the Commons. The government opposed the amendment, and it was defeated by 434 votes to 36. The Votes at 16 Coalition, a group of political and charitable organizations supporting a reduction of the voting age to 16, was launched on the 29th of January 2003. At the time, a private member's bill was also proposed in the House of Lords by Lord Lucas, and received a second reading on the 9th of January. In 2004, the UK Electoral Commission conducted a major consultation on the subject of the voting and candidacy ages, and received a significant response. In its conclusions, it recommended that the voting age remain at 18. On the 29th of November 2005, the House of Commons voted 136 to 128 against a private member's bill for a reduction in the voting age to 16 proposed by Liberal Democrat MP Stephen Williams. Parliament chose not to include a provision reducing the voting age in the Electoral Administration Act during its passage in 2006. On the 27th of February 2006, the report of the Power Inquiry called for a reduction of the voting age and of the candidacy age for the House of Commons to 16. On the same day, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Gordon Brown, indicated in an article in The Guardian that he favoured a reduction provided it was made concurrently with effective citizenship education. The UK Ministry of Justice published on 3 July 2007 a Green Paper entitled The Governance of Britain, in which it proposed the establishment of a Youth Citizenship Commission. The Commission would examine the case for lowering the voting age. On launching the paper in the House of Commons, PM Gordon Brown said, "Although the voting age has been 18 since 1969, it is right, as part of the debate, to examine and hear from young people themselves whether lowering that age would increase participation." The Scottish National Party's conference voted unanimously on 27 October 2007 for a policy of reducing the voting age to 16, as well as in favour of a campaign for the necessary power to be devolved to the Scottish Parliament. During the Youth Parliament debates of 30 October 2009 in the House of Commons, votes at 16 was debated and young people of that age group voted for it overwhelmingly as a campaign priority. Since the debate, the issue has been raised in Prime Minister's questions and has also gained the widespread support of the major political parties. In December 2014, Labour announced that it would support the policy if it won an overall majority in the 2015 general election. There was criticism about denying young people younger than 18 years a right to vote in the referendum on the membership in the European Union in 2016. In the referendum about the Scottish independence in 2014, 16-17-year-olds had been able to vote. It was criticised that those who have to live with the consequences of the referendum for the longest time were excluded from the vote. Supporters of an inclusion of young voters consider the exclusion as a violation of the democratic principle and a severe deficit of the referendum. Opinion polls conducted during the votes for the referendum show that the excluded voters would have voted with an overwhelming majority for Remain, and that an inclusion of the age group of 16-17-year-old citizens would have led to a win of the Remain campaign. Scotland. In September 2011 it was announced that the voting age was likely to be reduced from 18 to 16 for the Scottish independence referendum. This was approved by the Scottish Parliament in June 2013. In June 2015 the Scottish Parliament voted unanimously to reduce the voting age to 16 for Scottish Parliament elections and Scottish local government elections. Crown dependencies. Moves to lower the voting age to 16 were successful in each of the three British Crown dependencies from 2006 to 2008. The Isle of Man was the first to amend its law, when in July 2006 it reduced the voting age to 16 for its general elections, with the House of Keys approving the move by 19 votes to 4. Jersey followed suit on 4 July 2007, when it approved in principle a reduction of the voting age to 16. The states of Jersey voted narrowly in favour, by 25 votes to 21, and the legislative amendments were adopted on 26 September. The law was sanctioned by order in Council on 12 December, and was brought into force on 1 April, in time for the general elections in late 2008. On 31 October 2007, a proposal for a reduction made by the House Committee of the States of Guernsey, and approved by the States' Policy Committee, was adopted by the Assembly by 30 votes to 15. An order in Council sanctioning the law was made on 12 December, and it was registered at the Court of Guernsey on 19 December. It came into force immediately, and the voting age was accordingly reduced in time for the Guernsey general election 2008. Alderney and Sark, each part of the bailiwick of Guernsey, have autonomy in deciding the question. Both have yet to favor a reduction to 16. United States. In the United States, 21 states permit 17-year-olds to vote in primary elections and caucuses if there will be 18 by Election Day. States include Alaska, Connecticut, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Maine, Maryland, Mississippi, Nebraska, Nevada, New Mexico, North Dakota, North Carolina, Ohio, Oregon, Virginia, Vermont, and Washington. In Alaska, Kansas, North Dakota, and Washington, 17-year-old Democrats may participate in caucuses, but are barred from participating in the Republican caucus. In Minnesota, 17-year-olds may participate in presidential caucuses but may not vote in primary elections for other offices. The 26th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution prevents states from denying suffrage to 18-year-olds but does not prevent states from establishing a lower voting age. Several states already allowed 18-year-olds to vote prior to passage of the 26th Amendment, except for the express limitations provided for in Amendments 14, 15, 19 and 26. Voter qualifications for House and Senate elections are largely delegated to the states under Article 1, Section 2 and Amendment 17 of the United States Constitution, which respectively state that the House of Representatives shall be composed of members chosen every second year by the people of the several states, and the electors in each state shall have the qualifications requisite for electors of the most numerous branch of the state legislature, and the Senate of the United States shall be composed of 2 senators from each state, elected by the people thereof, for 6 years, and each senator shall have 1 vote. The electors in each state shall have the qualifications requisite for electors of the most numerous branch of the state legislatures. Quote, currently, the main Green Independent Party, the state branch of the Green Party of the United States, calls for the lowering of the voting age to 17. Youth suffrage appears to be gaining ground in Massachusetts. 3 of the 4 Democratic United States Senate candidates in 2010 supported lowering the voting age. In 2013, the city of Tacoma Park, Maryland became the first place in the United States to lower its voting age to 16 for municipal elections and referendums. During the Vietnam War, most of those subjected to the draft were too young to vote, consume alcoholic beverages in most states, and the image of young people being forced to risk their lives in the military without the privileges of enfranchisement or the ability to consume alcohol legally also successfully pressured legislators to lower the voting age nationally and the drinking age in many states. The debate about lowering voting age from 21 to 18 in the U.S. began during World War II and intensified during the Vietnam War. In the 1970 case Oregon v. Mitchell, the Supreme Court ruled that Congress had the right to regulate the minimum age in federal elections, however, not at local and state level. Congress passed the 26th Amendment in March 1971. It was promptly ratified by the states and became law in July 1971. Iran had been unique in awarding suffrage at 15, but raised the age to 18 in January 2007 despite the opposition of the government. In May 2007, the Iranian cabinet proposed a bill to reverse the increase. Switzerland. On 6 May 2007, the Swiss canton of Glarus voted to reduce the voting age from 18 to 16 for cantonal and local elections. New Zealand. The New Zealand Green Party MP Sue Bradford announced on 21 June 2007 that she intended to introduce her civics education and voting age bill on the next occasion upon which a place became available for the consideration of members' bills. When this happened on 25 July, Bradford abandoned the idea, citing an adverse public reaction. The bill would have sought to reduce reduce the voting age to 16 in New Zealand and make civics education part of the compulsory curriculum in schools. Venezuela. A request to lower the voting age to 16 was made during consideration of revisions to the Constitution of Venezuela in 2007. Cilia Flores, president of the National Assembly, announced that the Mixed Committee for Constitutional Reform had found the idea acceptable. Following approval in the legislature, the amendment formed part of the package of constitutional proposals, and was defeated in the 2007 referendum. Australia. A report suggesting that consideration be given to reducing the voting age to 16 in the Australian Capital Territory in Canberra, Australia, was tabled in the territorial legislature on the 26th of September 2007 and defeated. In 2015, the opposition leader Bill Shorten made calls from the voting age to be lowered to 16. Luxembourg. Luxembourg has compulsory voting from the age of 18. A proposal by the government to introduce optional voting for those aged 16 and 17 was rejected by 81% of voters in a June 2015 referendum. Voting ages around the world. 18 is the most common voting age, with a small minority of countries differing from this rule. Those with a national minimum age of 17 include East Timor, Greece, Indonesia, North Korea, South Sudan and Sudan. The minimum age is 16 in Argentina, Austria, Brazil, Cuba, Ecuador, Nicaragua and the Isle of Man, Jersey and Guernsey. People aged 16 to 18 can vote in Bosnia, Serbia and Montenegro if employed. The highest minimum voting age is 21 in several nations. Some countries have variable provision for the minimum voting age, whereby a lower age is set for eligibility to vote in state, regional or municipal elections. The only known maximum voting age is in the Holy See, where the franchise for electing a new pope is restricted to cardinals under the age of 80. Alphabetical list of countries. The following is an alphabetical list of voting ages in the various countries of the world. A. Afghanistan, 18. Albania, 18. Algeria, 18. American Samoa, 18. Andorra, 18. Angola, 18. Anguilla, 18. Antigua and Barbuda, 18. Argentina, 16. 16 to 18 and 70 plus optional. Armenia, 18. Aruba, 18. Australia, 18. Austria, 16. Azerbaijan, 18. Bahamas, 18. Bahrain, 20. Bangladesh, 18. Barbados, 18. Belarus, 18. Belgique, 18. Belize, 18. Benin, 18. Bermuda, 18. Bhutan, 18. Bolivia, 18. Universal and compulsory. Bosnia and Herzegovina, 18. 16 if employed. Botswana, 18. Brazil, 18 to 70 compulsory, 16 to under 18 and over 70 optional. Voting is also optional to all illiterate citizens older than 16. British Virgin Islands, 18. Brunei, 18. Bulgaria, 18. Burkina Faso, 18. Burundi, 18. See Cambodia, 18. Cameroon, 21. Canada, 18. Cape Verde, 18. Cayman Islands, 18. Central African Republic, 18. Chad, 18. Chile, 18. China, 18. Cocos Islands, 18. Colombia, 18. Comoros, 18. Democratic Republic of the Congo, 18. Republic of the Congo, 18. Cook Islands, 18. Costa Rica, 18. Côte d'Ivoire, 18. Croatia, 18. Cuba, 16. Curacao, 18. Cyprus, 18. Czech Republic, 18. Denmark, 18. Djibouti, 18. Dominica, 18. Dominican Republic, 18. Universal and compulsory, married persons regardless of age. East Timor. 17. Ecuador. 16. Universal, compulsory for literate persons ages 18 to 65, optional for other eligible voters. Egypt. 18. El Salvador. 18. England. 18. Equatorial Guinea. 18. Eritrea. 18. Estonia. 18. 16 for local elections. Ethiopia. 17. European Union. 18. Falkland Islands. 18. Faroe Islands. 18. Fiji. 18 as of 2013 Constitution. Finland. 18. France. 18. French Guiana. 18. French Polynesia. 18. Gabon. 18. Gambia. 18. Georgia. 18. Germany. 18. Voting age 16 for state elections. Brandenburg, Bremen, Hamburg and Schleswig-Holstein. Voting age 16 for municipal elections. Baden-Württemberg, Berlin, Brandenburg, Bremen, Hamburg, Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, Lower Saxony, North Rhine-Westphalia, Saxony-Anhalt and Schleswig-Holstein. Ghana. 18. Gibraltar. 18. Universal, plus other British citizens who have been residents 6 months or more. Greece. 17. Greenland. 18. Grenada. 18. Guadeloupe. 18. Guam. 18. Universal, U.S. citizens, but do not vote in U.S. presidential elections. Guatemala. 18. Universal. Guernsey. 16. Guinea. 18. Guinea-Bissau. 18. Guyana. 18. Haiti. 18. Honduras. 18. Hong Kong. Direct election 18 years of age, universal for permanent residents living in the territory of Hong Kong for the past 7 years. Indirect election, limited to about 220,000 members of functional constituencies and an 1,200-member election committee drawn from broad regional groupings, municipal organizations and central government bodies. Hungary 18. Iceland 18. India 18. Indonesia 17. Universal and married persons regardless of age, except for the military and police. Iran 18. Iraq 18. Ireland 18. Isle of Man 16. Israel 18. Italy 18. Jamaica 18 years, Japan 18 years, Jersey 16 years, Jordan 18 years, Kazakhstan 18, Kenya 18, Kiribati 18, North Korea 17. Members of the military have the right to vote regardless of age. South Korea 19. Kosovo 18, Kuwait 21. Females and males who are not in the military or police forces. All voters must have been citizens for 20 years. Current proposal for reduction to 18. Kyrgyzstan 18. Laos 18. Latvia 18. Universal for Latvian citizens. Lebanon 21. Tried to amend to 18 on the 22nd of February 2010 but failed to pass. Lesotho 18. Liberia 18. Libya 18. Liechtenstein 18. Lithuania 18. Luxembourg 18. Universal and compulsory until the age of 75. A proposal to lower the voting age to 16 was rejected in 2015 in a nationwide referendum. Macau. Direct election 18 years of age. Universal for permanent residents living in Macau for the past 7 years. Indirect election limited to organizations registered as corporate voters and a 300-member election committee drawn from broad regional groupings, municipal organizations and central government bodies. Republic of Macedonia 18. Madagascar 18. Malawi 18. Malaysia 21 for Youth Parliament of Malaysia 15 to 40. Maldives 18. Mali 18. Malta 18. However, a motion has been passed in Parliament to lower the voting age for local council elections to 16. Marshall Islands. 18. Martinique. 18. Mauritania. 18. Mauritius. 18. Mayotte. 18. Mexico. 18. Federated States of Micronesia. 18. Moldova. 18. Monaco. 18. Mongolia. 18. Montenegro. 18. Montserrat. 18. Morocco. 18. Mozambique. 18. Myanmar. 18. and Namibia. 18. Nauru. 20. Nepal. 18. Netherlands. 18. New Caledonia. 18. New Zealand. 18. Nicaragua. 16. Niger. 18. Nigeria. 18. Niue. 18. Norfolk Island. 18. Northern Mariana Islands. 18. Universal indigenous inhabitants are U.S. citizens but do not vote in U.S. presidential elections. Norway. 18. However, persons 17 years of age are permitted to vote in parliamentary elections if they will be 18 years of age in the year the election is held. Oman. 21. Universal except for members of the military and police. Pakistan. 18. Universal, joint electorates and reserved parliamentary seats for women and non-Muslims. Palau. 18. Panama. 18. Papua New Guinea. 18. Paraguay. 18. Universal and compulsory until the age of 75. Peru. 18. Universal and compulsory until the age of 70. Philippines. 18 for youth councils. 15 to 18, previously from 15 to 21. Incumbents are allowed to keep the positions if they surpass the legal age. Pitcairn Islands. 18. Universal with 3 years residency. Poland. 18. Portugal. 18. Puerto Rico. 18. Universal Island residents are U.S. citizens but do not vote in U.S. presidential elections. Qatar. 18. Irkut Union. 18. Romania. 18. Russia. 18. Rwanda. 18. St. Helena. 18. St. Kitts and Nevis. 18. St. Lucia. 18. St. Pierre and Miquelon. 18. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. 18. Samoa. 21. San Marino. 18. São Tomé and Príncipe. 18. Saudi Arabia. 18. Scotland. 16. Senegal. 18. Serbia. 18. Seychelles. 18. Sierra Leone. 18. Singapore. 21. St. Martin. 18. Slovakia. 18. Slovenia. 18. Solomon Islands. 21. Somalia. 18. South Africa. 18. South Sudan. 17. Spain. 18. Sri Lanka. 18. Sudan. 17. Suriname. 18. Swaziland. 18. Sweden. 18. Switzerland. 18. Syria. 18. Taiwan. 20. Tajikistan. 18. Tanzania. 18. Thailand. 18. Togo. 18. Tokelau. 21. Tonga. 21. Trinidad and Tobago. 18. Tunisia. 18. Turkey. 18. Turkmenistan. 18. Turks and Caicos Islands. 18. Tuvalu. 18. Uganda. 18. Ukraine. 18. United Arab Emirates, numbered at least 25. United Kingdom. 18. United States. 18. However, in many states, persons 17 years of age are permitted to vote in primary elections if they will be 18 years of age on or before the day of the general election. Uruguay. 18. Uzbekistan. 18. Vanuatu. 18. Venezuela. 18. Vietnam. 18. Virgin Islands of the United States. 18. Universal Island residents U.S. citizens but do not vote in U.S. presidential elections. W. Wallace and Futuna. 18. Western Sahara. None. Y. Yemen. 18. Z. Zambia. 18. Zimbabwe.